Motion that we go into executive session. I need to read this, right?
Yep. Unfortunately.
In accordance with Idaho Code Section 74201-1B, the board may elect to hold an executive session to discuss B, to consider the evaluation, dismissal, or disciplining of, or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff, or individual agent or public school agent, and D, to consider records that are exempt from disclosure.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Kirsty, Michael?
Aye.
JD?
Aye.
Hillary?
Yep, aye.
And I for me, okay. Nope, not working here.
Okay.
Maybe while
Oh,
we're.
maybe down here I can use that. Thank you.
I got logged in, Jason.
I got a
logged
pretty So, just waiting for people to get in here and then we'll start the pledge.
No, I want the baby.
Should we go ahead? All right, if you wouldn't mind, we're gonna go ahead and start regular session, and let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Do I have a motion that we approve the agenda?
I motion that we approve the agenda.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All right, let's start with you, Kirsty.
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
JD?
Aye.
Hillary?
Aye.
And I for me, all right. Superintendent's report, our levy update.
I'm gonna turn this over to Mr. Reddy.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm wearing multiple hats.
Can I just say, I have a smile on my face.
Me too, yeah, me too. We had a fun levy season. It was a quick levy season, but I think we want to make sure and just cover a few highlights with you guys quickly. But really, at the end of the day, this is a thank you to our community and to the partnerships we've had there. So, Porter, can you hit the next slide? We had so many folks that were helping in so many different ways, including all of you, like from the trustee trivia videos to, you know, just the different things that we did with each of you and your support. I think that was had a huge benefit in our community, because obviously you represent different zones of our school district, so we're grateful for that. But we did levy, meetings in the evenings. Our, Trustee Thornton and Trustee Bruce were a part of those. We had a lot of really great parents that were willing to be on TV. You can see Mary here in the audience tonight is up there. One of our other Silver Trail moms. We have Carrie in the audience tonight too. Thank you so much for all that you did. And then we can go to the next slide if you would, please. This is some of our trustee trivia stuff. You guys will remember those videos. Those were really fun to make. We enjoyed that a lot. Funny, in the library, Trustee Nixon, we happened to run into this gentleman in the library, and he actually is the dad of one of the ladies that works just right here in the office next door. She's works in our payroll department. So it was just fun, some of those like interactions and relationships and collaboration and all of that kind of stuff that happened. And obviously, you can see this slide with Trustee Grant and his sign, but the next slide you'll also see, if you wouldn't mind going to the next one, all of these. And I think huge, I'm gonna get emotional, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But Anna and Enrique and the work that you guys did in our community, and really just the personal sacrifice that you put out there of your time, your talents, and your treasure. I don't think that should be understated at all. And so we're grateful for you, and really I think at the end of the day you activated a lot of the people in our community to get involved. Our business leaders that were all over in the Kuna community that got involved and held these signs up and took pictures on social media. I think it made a huge difference. I think it was a catalyst for a lot of things. So because of that, we have these fun things that we do here. These are called the Kuna Way Awards. So we want to give you guys a Kuna Way Award, and it says for Anna and Enrique. I didn't mean to leave you out, sir, but we all know who the brains of the operation is. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. So Anna has been instrumental in revitalizing connections between the community, businesses, and our school district. Her efforts have sparked partnerships that led to the creation of an advocacy group, playing a key role in the success of our levy. As a parent, business leader, and dedicated community member, Anna's can-do attitude continues to make a meaningful impact on our students and our staff. So I want to invite you guys up here.
Just want to give her a standing ovation. So I just want to add, if you don't mind me saying, Anna, I was at a little get-together at your place, and one of the things she said to me was, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Let's keep going, let's not stop here. And I thought, let's keep going. That is awesome. And so I want to thank you for your attitude and just working with us and doing all that you and Enrique have done. It is amazing. And our kids have a brighter future because of it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We've
So-
learned a lot through this journey as well, because we thought we knew how this worked, and I learned a lot.
Oh, I learn all the time, like, yeah, how does the state do this and that, and it is amazing. to
So
do
that's
that.
why I say we can't stop now. Now that we have that momentum, we have to keep going.
I love it. And she was talking about the bonds, so that makes me very happy. So, but thank you. I want you to know I wrote 23 thank you notes and put them in the mail, so, from our school board thanking people. So, thank you so much. All right. So, we have another report from Kevin Gifford, I believe, unless there's something more.
All right, Chair Nixon and trustees, I'm gonna try my best. I've had to do this a couple times and make sure I do a better job tonight with you, but I wanna just kind of tell you a story about data, and I know that doesn't maybe sound like a great combination, but normally when I come and present to you, I'm sharing what we call summative data, data at the end that shows how our students have performed, and we often compare it to state averages or to other previous years, that kind of thing. And that is really important data. We use that at the end of the year to evaluate how we've done and to make changes for the next year. But tonight I want to talk to you about our benchmark data, which we call formative data. This data is used especially at the beginning of the year. We use it to make plans, to make goals, to figure out what our students know and what we need to help them learn throughout the year. And then we use formative data throughout the year. And we have three main ones each year we call benchmark assessments. We do it in the fall, we do it in the winter, which is the middle checkpoint, and then end of the year. And that end of the year becomes that summative that tells the rest of the story. And what makes this challenging to tell and share with you tonight is that normally schools take this data and they really dive down deep into it. Because the numbers themselves, they might look a little scary at times, but that's because formative data, especially beginning of the year benchmark data, you're testing kids on end of the year knowledge at the beginning of the year. So you're finding out what they already know and where the holes are. So schools will take this data once it's completed. They'll meet with their school level teams, their grade level teams, all their specialists, intervention, special education, and they'll take this data and digest it. And they'll talk specifically about individual students and groups of students. And there's a lot of discussion that goes into that. And so it's really great data, but it's hard to talk about in this kind of a setting without all the other information. So I'm really wanting to share this with you as more of an educational framework to help you understand about this benchmark data and what we do with it. So that, I just kind of want to put that context out there because I'm not really going to get super deep into the data because we're missing all those other elements that I talked about. I had to write this out to make sure I didn't confuse you, so let me just make sure I said everything I needed to say.
I like to think green means go,
Yes.
yellow means caution, red means we need to help those guys.
Absolutely. And we use the same format all year long, obviously. So this first set of data I'm going to share with you is our kindergarten through 5th grade. It's our reading, it's our language arts data. And we use iStation, which this graph comes from our iStation, which is an online product that the state provides for us. And they take one of the assessments at the beginning of the year and call it the IRI, the Idaho Reading Indicator. And they take that assessment at the end of the year and call it the IRI. We use it all year long though, and we don't use it with just K-3 students, we use it with our 4th and 5th grade students as well, because that data helps us throughout the whole year to figure out where kids are at in their reading journey. So in K-1-3, this is the foundational learning for reading. And so the state asks us to create, I think this Superintendent Beckett, I'll talk with you about her goals in executive session, we create a continuous improvement plan. That's what that CIP acronym is. And so we set goals at K1, 2, and 3 because that's the foundational reading, and that's where we have the IRI. So based off of this benchmark data, you can see here's the percentage of students who are currently proficient already at the beginning of the year. I just threw in there for comparison to help you kind of see. This is how we ended last year. And then these are the goals we set this year based on where we ended last year. So the idea is that we need to continue to improve and improve our systems and our process, our instruction. But it's really hard. I mean, this only is a 3% increase at each grade level, which may seem small, but it's really difficult to move large groups of students, large numbers all at once. Then when you get to 4th and 5th grade, we still look at this data, but at 4th and 5th grade, it starts in 3rd grade actually, but at 4th and 5th grade, they also then began to take the ISAT, the English Language Arts ISAT. But what's unique about that, you'll notice here our benchmark data is actually higher than where we ended last year on the ISAT. But the reading data here is only the reading. The ISAT incorporates also the writing into it. And that is an area that we've struggled with more. We have what we call our direct writing assessment, where we're partnering with some other districts. We've set goals specifically for writing because we know that's an area that we need to improve in. And so I've included here also for you where we performed last year on the ISAT and what the goal is in 4th grade, which is also included in our continuous improvement plan to increase by 5% there. So this test is usually a pretty good indicator for our IRI testing, because it is the IRI, obviously. It gives us an indicator of how we'll perform on English Language Arts ISATs, but it's not completely accurate because it doesn't include as much of the writing element as the actual test does. So this data then, our K-5 teams, they look at this data. They actually get more detailed reports. It breaks it down by the different components of reading, like fluency and vocabulary and phonemic awareness. It gives them a lot more detailed reports, and it groups kids in each of those skill areas. But this is that data they start with. And then the nice thing about having this system available to us is we can continue to assess them every month. And then, like I said, in the wintertime, we'll take our next dipstick and see where they're at compared to where they were at the beginning of the year. Okay, if you'll go to the next slide, this is our math data. I included K all the way through 8 because we use iReady. This graph looks a little different. This is from iReady. The state doesn't have us, we don't have any state testing from iReady like we did for MyStation. We only have the ISATs in math. That starts in 3rd grade, so I've included that on here. You'll notice too, our benchmark starts quite a bit lower, and that's also true statewide. And that's one of the areas of focus for the state, and that's also part of our strategic plan has been focused on math and early literacy that we talked about in the last slide. But you'll see that these numbers are quite low, but again, this is testing kids at the beginning of the year on end of the year knowledge, which is why that's low. And so I also then again threw in where we ended last year to give you an idea of that potential growth from what we saw last year. But again, starting in 3rd grade, math ISAT scores is where we ended. On our continuous improvement plan, we have a goal in 6th and 8th grade, which are transition years, to kind of see how we're going between elementary to middle school. And we're trying to jump it up by 5%. And you saw last year, or I showed you data, we made great gains in math, especially at our middle school level. And I think that partly is attributed to this constant, or continuous curriculum, K through 8. And this data that we look at. So same thing, they get a breakout of the different strands of math, the different, I just lost the name.
What are you talking about, ISAT?
Number sense, algebra,
words
problem solving, yeah. So they get the more detailed reports
yeah.
again. It looks at groups of kids, where they're at, but this gives you kind of big picture. All right, the next slide. Yeah, question?
I had a question about the other slide, if you don't mind.
Yeah, we can go back.
Forward. The 1st, 2nd, 3rd, I mean, to look at those 13% of our kids are proficient, and 11 and 10, that is really low.
Yeah, it is. And
I mean, I see how far they went up.
Yeah.
I get that, but then that's the class that moved up too. Is there something?
But it's a new test, remember, these first
Okay.
graders are taking the
I was
first
gonna say,
grade
is there
test.
something in our curriculum we need to take a look at?
I mean, it's a valid question.
Yeah.
Again, it's interesting because when we compare it to
Just-
state, it's the same kind of a thing.
Is it all across the state? I'm just curious.
Yes,
I guess
overall
I'll
across the
look and
state, our
see how
math
they
scores are
are.
lower than our language arts, and it's one of those problems we're all trying to figure out.
Okay, in the spring, we can take a look and see.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you can also see here, kindergarten, again, we've already talked about the full day
Yeah,
kindergarten, really
yeah.
helps us here.
It's
Then we
just-
don't get quite as much gain in the
It
other
just seems
grades.
really low for the first time, but anyway, yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
but that's one of the challenges we're facing.
Yeah,
Just so I can make sure, like the 16 to 84% in kindergarten,
Yes.
then they go to first grade and that 84% is now at 10%, is that right?
Yes, but
Is
again,
that
this is a kindergarten test, it only tests kindergarten
Right.
skills.
that's where I'm
It's
saying.
testing what they should be at the end of first grade,
Yes.
but, yeah,
They didn't retain.
Right.
not a lot.
No, and that's what concerns me. That's why I
Well, and
think
it's not
that
even
was
as
so
much, there is some retention, there's some lost,
Yeah.
but these are new skills that we're testing them on, that they didn't learn in kindergarten, potentially. So, and then this is also probably why we don't often come and show formative data, because it gives people the wrong impression.
Yeah,
I mean, clearly this is a struggle, this is something we have to work on.
yeah,
right?
definitely, we need to look at
But we
this.
put in that work, and so that's why I'm here tonight showing this to you, because I want you to see, this is where we start, this is the kind of data we start with, and we use it, so that by the end of the year, you're seeing much better results, even though it's still not where we wanted, especially as we move up. So I really am just trying to paint a realistic picture for you of where we're at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay, so we'll go into 6th through 12th grade. I stayed in math for this because we had 6, 7, 8 included with the K-8, and now I have them also with 6 through 12, so you can see that continuity. In 6th through 12th grade, 11th grade, they use the SICA, the S-I-C-A, which is a shortened interim comprehensive assessment. So basically, it's an ISAT that's shorter, but it still covers mainly the same topics. And on this one, I can show you, excuse me, because it's a state test, I can show you what our proficiency rating is compared to the whole state that's using the same testing. So it gives you a better idea. It kind of goes to that question you were asking earlier. So even though our proficiency is low right now, at the beginning of the year, it's a little bit higher than 6th grader around the whole state, which doesn't mean we can just, we don't have to worry about it, right? That's not great, we gotta get them up. So you can kind of see, here's where we're at, here's where the state, compared to the state. The state, actually, for ISATs, has put out a longitudinal plan to improve statewide test scores. And they just adjusted it this last year because the goals they had were unrealistic and none of the districts were achieving those goals. So this is their new goal for this coming year. The state's goal is for all schools to be at 42.6% for proficiency. So last year, you can see that we were pretty close in 6th and 7th grade, a little bit below, and then not nearly as good here by 11th grade.
It's interesting how middle school does better than the high school.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about this last year.
Yeah.
9th and 10th grade, we just started using the SICA at the high school level.
Right.
Because we had that, for lack of a better term, those black hole years in terms of testing, state
Right.
testing, right? And then all of a sudden in 11th grade, you're testing them and see how they do, yeah.
Do you think that, and I don't know if this is true, but do a lot of 11th graders not take math? Because it's required as their senior year, so they skip that 11th grade?
Yeah, and that's one of the things we've been talking about, and Trustee Bruce has met with us. We've actually been talking about how do we change it so that we do have our 11th graders prepared for this test. I think that does play into it. On our continuous improvement plan, we've got a goal for 6th and 8th, but we also added an 11th grade goal because we know that this is something that we need in our goals to keep working toward. And 34% isn't fantastic, but 6% jump from where we're at would be a significant gain in 1 year. So that kind of tells the story again. This is the reality of where we're at. A lot of work to do. But we showed last year that we were able to make some good gains, so we hopefully make those again. And the last slide is our English language arts benchmark data. We start from a higher standpoint overall than we did with math. And we're, for the most part, in line with where the state was. But what's interesting here is we start lower, and then by the end, we're ahead of where the state is. So we did implement a new curriculum last year in 6th through 12th. So I don't know, I'm hoping that kind of plays into some of this. I guess second year we'll see if that continues. But similar story. Our story is that we have a lot of growth to achieve. But again, our teachers now using the SICA data are able to dive down in. And this data comes out a little bit different. They give you, in their reports, they can give you target reports, which similarly kind of group your kids into which target areas they're low in. And then it gives you overall like the top 5 that students do well and the bottom 5, so that you can kind of go item analysis of the types of things that are on the test to figure out where your instruction is not preparing students for the assessment. So there's a lot of good work to be done in this, but again tonight my objective was really just to kind of paint a picture for you, tell that story, explain what this data is for. It really is for us to figure out where our kids are at, set goals that are achievable but also push us a little bit, and then mainly it's for our teacher level teams to plan and create the learning opportunities that will help our students to grow. And then we look at this monthly, we look at this again in the winter, we look at it at the end of the year, so that we're continuously looking at the data. And then hopefully at the end of the year, I get to come celebrate the great growth we've had.
Well, and I just want to say thank you to the community for passing that levy, because
Yes.
this is exactly what we need as curriculum to move those numbers. And so let's go for it.
Yeah. You've asked some really great questions. Are there any others you want to ask before I sit down? Okay. Well, thank you. I hope this created a realistic picture for where we're at and the work that we're going to do to
We're excited about it.
Thank
show
you.
it. Yes.
Very excited about it.
All right, thank you. Mr. Gifford, celebrations, another, is that?
That was part of the.
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
good, moving right along. And do we have any comments, patrons? No? No, okay. All right. So I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Brad Stedman as district treasurer. Welcome.
Thank you.
So I need a motion and a second.
You just made a
You
motion.
need a motion.
Oh, did I? Well, I guess I made it.
Second.
Okay, thank you. I thought I said I need a motion, but who knows? Anyway, and so Kirsty,
Aye.
Michael? Jamie?
Aye.
Aye.
And I for me. All right, welcome.
Yes.
And I got to meet him a little bit at our ISBA. I got to meet Brad a little bit at our ISBA convention, and 4 kids, right?
Yes, 2 in
Yeah.
high school, 2 in middle school, and the West Ada School District.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we can move him out here eventually. We'll take it a little at a time. All right. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about the ISBA conference that I attended. First of all, it was great. I won a toothbrush. Just thought I'd let you all know that was good. And Deanne won a basket full of really good food, and then I took a lot of good classes. I took one on governance, one called Overstepping Oversight, Effective and Efficient Board Meetings. Boy, did I like that one. Also, phone policies, which was really good. And then operating protocols and just more board information. So it was well worth it. It was a good conference, which leads me to, let me find it here. I passed out to you guys. We pay, part of our payment is that they will come out and give us workshops on different things, ISBA will. And so if you guys take a look, I think I gave you all one. Phil Gore would be one of the presenters. And there's some different things that they workshops that they do for us. And I thought it'd be great. I'm open for any suggestions or discussions or one that you would like. I'm thinking in my head, I guess it's a special meeting, but do it at 5 o'clock before our board meeting. So we just be that day, is where my thoughts are, but I'm totally open to what you guys want to do.
They say like a 2 to 3 hour, but
Some
can
are.
we make it like an hour? Or-
Well, you can make it an hour, we can do it in 2 times. I mean, it doesn't
Oh,
have to
I
be
see
one
what you mean.
time.
Okay.
Yeah, they'd be willing to come out.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to do that.
Yeah, So,
Split it up.
yeah, we can do that, like, and I'm thinking like, maybe February, no, just kidding. Yeah. I'm thinking, next year, that we'd have them come out, type of thing. So, are there ones that you guys are interested in that we could pinpoint maybe and start
I
that?
like the last three, the continuous improvement and accountability.
Okay,
I don't care which one, but I think it would be great to learn about resources for literacy, data, how to track it, things like that.
okay. I know that's a really big thing in all the classes I took. Data and what we can do as a school board to help our kiddos was huge, so I really think that's a good one. Is that one you guys are interested in?
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, is there anything else that, so we could just go with that one then?
Accountability and continuous improvement.
Sure.
Okay, help me out, old board clerk there. Do I need a motion then to have a special?
You don't need any motions.
Okay.
We'll work together and
Okay,
get everything.
just wanna
set
make
up.
sure, thank you. So let's, I'll go ahead and I can contact Phil
Okay,
and let him know that's the one we'd like,
perfect.
and then we'll go with that.
I'm excited.
Okay,
We're talking about the continuous improvement and accountability.
Right.
Yeah.
that one. Okay. So, moving right along. First reading, policies.
There are 9. I stand for any questions for the 2 that are being adopted, electronic surveillance and maintenance of orderly.
I have one on the
conduct.
maintenance of orderly conduct. If you go into that one, what is academic dishonesty? Is that like cheating, or I was trying to figure that out, right? Where is it?
Number 2.
Yeah.
There is
Are they taking that out, or are they adding?
No, they're adding it. It was,
And what
you
does
have the
that mean?
option. It is cheating, it's plagiarizing, it's turning in someone else's work.
Using AI when you're not supposed to.
Okay, could we, I would like to see more of a definition on that maybe,
Okay.
possibly, what do you guys think?
Sure. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, just so we know.
Some more examples maybe.
Well, just, yeah,
can
just
go-
a definition more of what that means, or does
Sure.
it mean that, you know?
Include but not limited to.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll be easy for me. And it'll probably look different if you're an English teacher, if you're a math teacher, if you're
Right, I
an auto
just-
teacher.
what's, you know, if we're holding someone accountable, what does that mean? And
Sure.
what are the ramifications of that? So I just wanted more of a definition to it.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that was the only one I had on that one.
So there was the 2 to adopt. Okay.
So,
Are you okay to adopt it with the changes?
With those changes.
To bring it back
just
to
that,
second.
just that definition.
Okay.
So is that the
So we
motion?
can do a second read on that.
Well,
Okay.
yeah,
With the changes?
Yeah, yeah, that's all I would like to say.
I move to adopt the first reading of policy 940, electronic surveillance, and 540.1 with the change, maintenance and of orderly conduct with the change.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
And we'll start with you, Hillary. JD,
Aye.
Michael,
Aye.
and Kirsty?
Aye.
Aye for me, all right.
5 of our policies are being amended. 412, employee conduct, used to be called general personnel regulations. 418, personal conflict of interest. 564.5, student concussion procedures and protocols. 574, field trips. And 771, charging school meals.
Okay, I had a question about this one too. 418. And it talks about the gift amount. That is, and I assume this is what teachers and, where is it at?
Under gifts, like,
Yeah, under gifts, it should be somewhere, sorry.
this prohibition
Yes.
does not include trivial benefits.
An employee may accept an award of $500 or less. Okay, as a teacher, sometimes I've gone over that. Or if there's a scholarship, like right now, I know there's a Helen Bryce scholarship from our sorority that will be $1,000 to 2 teachers in our district. And it's just for them. So I guess I was just curious, does that just mean, I don't want anyone,
Is that a scholarship or is that a gift?
well, it's kind of a gift, it's
award.
a award,
It's an
yeah.
award.
So I don't know, so that's my thought, I just didn't know.
Where did the $500 come from? And what's, I guess, can we change that number?
So you want me to research to find out, is that law or is that
Yeah, is it
recommendation
law?
by our lawyer?
Can you divide it up into two?
It wasn't squiggly, so we didn't get to choose, but I can find out where the $500 came
Yeah.
from.
So, how, did they discuss that at the policy
We
committee
did.
at all?
I don't know if
No,
we
not the
discussed if
500.
it was law or not.
They talked about the 50,
Yeah.
like, someone said they got two $50 gifts, but they had twins in their class, so that worked out okay.
Yeah.
It was per.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just, yeah, I've had, for Christmas, as an elementary teacher, I've had some pretty nice gift cards from parents who feel sorry for me being a
Getting
teacher.
mad.
Or teaching their kids, or whatever.
I
Yeah,
had one of those.
$50 isn't that much, maybe we could see if both of those numbers.
So for second read, come back and at least have a reason for those numbers? If it's-
Yeah, I
if
just
it's
didn't want
law,
a
if
teacher
it's
to
not. Okay.
all of a sudden say, I can't accept this.
Sure.
If it was a gift from a parent. I did
What's
no
the
discussion.
purpose of just like, I mean, I guess what's the reason behind having anything about gifts? Maybe we need to know what, like,
I think specifically in the conflict of interest, that way, if I gave you a gift, my kid didn't
Get an A.
A now.
Yeah,
Or wouldn't have.
So
Or
can we
coaches
just-
getting paid for their kid later.
and so
So
is
you
there
could-
any way to just like say, like take away the amounts and just say that you don't accept any gifts, prizes, awards, or whatever in exchange for preferential treatment of some kind? Maybe that would be easier to say.
So this section, I will come back to you a
Okay.
second read with better information, rather than you guys will not pass it
Yeah.
to third read? Or do you wanna hold it now for first read again?
I think it kinda, I mean, I think we should add what you're saying too, but I think you still need to keep a monetary
Some
number
kind of
on there.
limit.
Yeah, but maybe 1,000 and 100 or something, I don't know.
As
Yeah.
long as it follows law and
Yeah.
code.
Law always supersedes policy anyway, so yeah, absolutely.
I think we could pass it along with more information, like with potential changes, is that
Yeah,
okay to do?
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm fine. So.
Any other questions in the amendment 5?
No. No, that was the one that I had. So, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept
It's very pleasant.
all of the amended policies under.
I need you to read the
first
titles.
reading. Oh, all the titles?
The 5 titles, yes.
Should have made it. Okay. I make a motion that we accept the first readings of policies 412, employee conduct, formerly general personnel regulations, 418, personnel conflict of interest with some potential changes under gifts, 564.5, student concussion procedures and protocols, 574, field trips, and 771, charging school meals.
Do I have a, okay, and, any discussion? All right, Hillary,
Aye.
JD,
Aye.
Michael,
Aye.
and Kirsty?
Aye.
Aye for me. Okay.
Next section's my favorite in policy, it's the remove one. 548 theft or destruction of school property, it just went into 540.1 maintenance of orderly conduct, and then extended field trips went into field trips, there's just one field trip policy now.
Do I have a motion?
I motion that we remove policy 548, theft or destruction of school property, and 576, extended field trips.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All right, Kirsty.
Aye.
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
JD?
Aye.
Aye for me. All right, now moving on to approval of the consent agenda. I did have one question about, and I should have followed up on, the early graduation.
Did you get the letter?
Yeah, it's in there.
It's in there.
Okay, then we're good.
Okay.
All right.
I motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Oh, I love it when you fight over seconds.
Michael can have it.
Okay. Any discussion?
No.
Okay, Kirsty?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
JD?
Aye.
Hillary?
Aye.
And I for me. Wow, good of the order, all right. And here's the good of our order. No school for Thanksgiving break, November 25th through the 29th. Whoop, whoop. 2, we are starting so that everybody here, and we want to be transparent, to work on procedure and policy for cell phones with different teams for the 2025-26 school year. Yeah. So, I think that's it, unless someone has anything else for the good of the order.
A motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that. And any discussion? Okay, go ahead, Kirsty.
Aye.
And Michael?
Aye.
JD?
Aye.
And Hillary? Aye for me. We're good, 7:10. Oh my gosh.